So, the role that luck plays in a career,
Right.
Warren Buffett was famous for saying that, he was lucky for being born in, I guess, late 20s or early 30s, being white in a middle class, family at that time, put him in a position to be what he is today. And
Right.
what is the role of luck? And we know luck is where opportunity and preparation meet.
Right.
So, I see a lot of stuff on LinkedIn about, and I think we've talked about this too. A lot of it is projecting. A lot of people are trying to give advice, but they're actually talking to themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but the role of luck, like, if somebody has it all figured out and was so successful, it's rare that people point to luck, but I think it plays a lot more into success than people want to believe. Um, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's again, luck. It all depends on how you define it. But your voice is always in my head when it comes to opportunity and when do opportunities happen and it's like they're flying by you all the time. And if you're prepared at that moment, you will grab that
Yeah,
opportunity.
right.
Like we were talking, when you started getting me to do this podcast, I was a little resistant, and this and that. And you kept saying, you just stay with it, we'll get better at it, we'll keep doing it, and who knows what comes out of it. And I try to teach my kids this too. My daughter, she just auditioned for like this little talent show, and she's so cute, and I was so proud of her for
What was her talent?
singing. Yeah, she
Okay.
sang a song, "The Climb" from Miley Cyrus, and we went. She got dressed up and she printed out her lyrics, and she did all this herself, and I was so proud of her. And just to get through that fear, and she has a fear of singing in front of people and being in front of people, and I knew in the back of my head, I'm like, she's just a little underprepared. So I was trying to nudge her to prepare herself more. And she was kind of fighting me on a little bit. I think it was her nerves.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I held back, I held back. And she went in, she didn't want me to go in the audition. So I stayed outside, and she went in, she sang her song, and she had her lyrics here. And she was real proud. She came out and she was real happy. And in the deep back of my mind, I thought, she was underprepared. She was
Hmm.
underprepared. She probably should have had the song completely memorized, going without the paper. Probably sang it more times and this and that. Since the audition, I talked to her about chance favors the prepared. I'm like, you got to prepare yourself. Since the audition, she's been singing the song 4 or 5 times a day. She's been singing in front of me, other people. If she sang the song this was a 3 or weeks ago, whatever. If she sang the song today
Yeah.
versus 3 weeks ago, she would have nailed it. So it was the 17th, we just got news. And she's like, "Hey, did we get news about the talent show? Did I make the next step?" And I said, "Okay, let's sit down." I said, there were 50 auditions, they only advanced 15 talents. 50. She goes, "Wow, that's a lot." And I said, "You didn't make it." I said, do you know why? Do you know why?" And she goes, I probably could have practiced more. I could have probably practiced more. But this is a perfect example. That opportunity that she envisioned herself and saw herself singing in front of an audience of people in a month, it would have happened if she was prepared.
Hmm.
Same thing in business,
Hmm.
same thing in life, and she learned from it. But
Hmm.
what she got out of it, she walked out chest high, feeling good. I mean, this is a couple auditions. I don't push her for this stuff, Joey. She
Hmm.
does it all herself. And her next audition, guess what? She's going to be prepared for that song,
Hmm.
and her chances of getting the next step are greater. And that's it. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling here,
No,
but
I,
this,
I I I
yeah,
love that stuff.
yeah,
Excuse me, but there is more to be learned from not succeeding. Excuse me, than
yes,
getting exactly what
yeah.
you want. you know?
And just doing it.
Yeah. And
Just
just
if
doing
you're
it.
not if you're not on the dance floor,
You're
you
not
know,
dancing.
you're not dancing. You have to just do it. And that's where you get into that vulnerability discussion. We don't have
Yeah.
to talk about now. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and being vulnerable, and look, she could not make it again. And then what? And so just prepare that. And that
Yeah.
doesn't mean I'm not a singer anymore. I mean,
Right.
a famous story is Michael Jordan got cut from his junior varsity
Yeah.
basketball team. And there's all these stories. And the thing that I think and the philosophy around it, and you actually told me earlier this week when I was intense and working too hard, you're like, get up from behind your desk. But to disguise work, like you mentioned, she's been singing, like let her just sing. And
Yeah.
and that is practicing, disguising work as play.
Yeah.
If she
Yeah.
loves to sing, sing. Who cares if you make the talent show or not? Put yourself out there. If you don't make it great, you'll keep trying.
Right.
So like if she would have succeeded and made the talent show, that may have been bad
I
because
you're
yeah,
right on, dude. You know why? Because the talent show is in 1 month. It's like May 18th or something. And I told her if she performed the way she did in the audition, it would have hurt her more, failed in front of hundreds of people in the audience. She wasn't
yeah.
prepared for the next step the way she should have been as the next step. And you're absolutely right. It could have harmed her more. She could have like clammed up. She could have, whatever. But yeah, you're absolutely
The
right. Yeah.
message is, and this is for little girls who or boys who want to go on the talent show, or big boys like me and you in business.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
keep going, you keep trying to get better, put yourself in a position to succeed, take chances, have the tough discussions, go to the tough tryouts for the talent show, go to the networking events, get uncomfortable in life, even if you're retired. It never stops. It
Agreed.
never stops.
Yep.
You always
Yep.
have to challenge yourself, and that's where I believe that that's where the good things happen.
I agree.
And it's just I don't know why that is, but it just seems like you have to like that's the whole thing about the cold plunge that people do.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't go in because it feels great. You go in for the feeling that you feel when you get out of it.
Right. Right.
Um, and that's the that's what that is all about.
Growth. It's
Growth.
it's that feeling of growth when you get through that fear and uncomfortable situation. You come out, and guess what? You come out alive. You come out stronger. You come out wiser.
Yeah,
And that's when you feel more confident about yourself.
yeah.
And that confidence, that energy translates into other good things.
Well, it's habit forming. So, like, if you
Yes. Yeah.
know that you can suffer in an ice bath and get out, that means you can suffer somewhere else and be okay when it's done. That's the point of pushing
Right.
yourself. If you could, life is a collection of habits. If you're in the habit of saying, I'll do it tomorrow," or
Right.
that that's the habits that's the personality that you're forming. If
Right.
you're constantly trying out for things and perfecting your craft, these are habits
Right.
that carry on to other things in your life. I like knowing that she practices as much as she did, I would hire her
Right.
even if
Yeah.
she wasn't the best at her craft. I want her because she's
Right.
working hard and I believe in her. My daughter's like that. She
Yeah.
puts herself out there. She has a work ethic. My
Yeah.
son, things come very easy to him. And I'm
Hmm.
like, listen, you're smarter than I ever was. You're
Yeah.
better looking than I ever was. Like you have all these things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that could be a blessing or a curse
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you need to work hard. You don't need to work hard.
Right.
You need to, okay. So initially things come easy to you. School comes easy. Doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. And if you
Right.
want to get better, you need to, challenge yourself and not just say, hey, things come easy to me.